No success happens by a person by itself. Okay? If we become successful, it's not because I did it by myself. No way. It is because we have a tribe behind us. It is because we have our ancestors. You know, their ancestors passed down traits to us that sometimes are a blessing and sometimes they're not a blessing. Sometimes we have to work to improve those traits in a better way. You know, sometimes we get like triggered too fast, and it's because, you know, we come from a descendant family that they get triggered really fast and they get mad and aggressive. So sometimes we have to work with that aggression because it is not a blessing, right? So we have gifts, we have talents that have been given to us, and sometimes we take advantage of it. Sometimes we put them to work, right? And whenever we do, we bless so many people. But whenever we don't, it's kind of like your talents stop right there. It's like there is no more passing it down to future generations if you're not using it. So it is so important for us to be aware of our opportunities and take advantage of it. Outliers, are people out there that don't meet the characteristics of an average individual. An outlier, it's somebody that it is not heroic, but it's outstanding. You know, it doesn't meet the characteristics of average individuals. So let's say everybody's going to take a math test at the same time, and we all have an hour to take the test. Everybody in the world. Now, whenever we try to graph the data, we're going to have some outliers. We're going to have people that will not follow within the same window. They're going to finish it within 10 minutes. And you're going to be like, hey, wait a minute. This test, you have to take it for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Well, those outliers are people that are going to finish very fast, and they're going to make an A on the test. So those outliers are people that sometimes we think they're born lucky, or they're born with talent, or they're just like born that way. And it's not, like if you think of Korea and Japan, whenever I said a math test, that is going to be the outliers out there. Yeah, they are, they are the outliers of math, right? Because they're super bright. But the reason why is not because they were born in that country. The reason why is because their language. Number one, their numbers are shorter, like dai, tai, like really short, versus our numbers here in the US that you say 55, 69, 79, 89, 99. So our numbers are longer. So our brain has just a window of opportunity to absorb the information, right? So whenever you give a math problem, since their numbers are shorter, they're going to be able to absorb more information within the window of opportunity. Versus here in the US, you have the same window of opportunity, but you get less information because the numbers are longer. So their brain has been absorbing more information whenever you give them a math problem, and they're able to solve it fast. Okay, that's the reason why they're outliers in math. Another reason why is because their culture legacy. Their ancestors worked super hard in the agriculture field to get rice to feed the family. And on the book, they compare that the agriculture of rice versus the agriculture of corn and wheat, which I was born and raised in Mexico. And I remember my family farming rice. Not rice, I'm wrong. They were farming corn and wheat, and they would bring watermelons. So they said that compared to rice is really hard because you have to have the right ingredients and the water for it, and there is no like a special machinery or machines that they can bring. That was back then, as they could with corn and wheat and the agriculture on land. So their ancestors had to be very clever, and they had to work really, really hard in order for them to get rice. So that passed down to their generation, hardworking people, really hardworking people with the ability to do faster problems in math because their language is shorter or the numbers are shorter. So that's what gives them an advantage to be outliers for math, okay? So my point here is that people are not just born beautifully talented, and they're not just lucky. They're willing to put in the work. If the opportunity is bring to them, and if they have the willpower to put in the work, they will become outliers because they work hard for it. So between our cultural legacy that we all get, in the environment we grow up, in the opportunity are presented to us, then that's whenever we have the opportunity to take advantage of it. We all get opportunities in our life, but sometimes we get stuck in our mind and we let self-doubt win. Sometimes we let fear take over and we begin to believe that we're not good enough. We believe that, okay, this is not for me. I'm not ready yet. I have to wait. It's like you doubt yourself. The book talks about how Billy Joy, and Jobs, the guy from Apple, were born at the right time and they took advantage of the new technology era. They put in the work. They put the 10,000 hours to work on computers, to learn programming, to build computers, and to get better at it. And look at them now. I mean, it's like we have access to the internet thanks to Billy Joy. We have access to the internet. We have software that we can use our home because of Bill Gates. And, we have Steve Jobs. He is, we have an iPhone because of him. And it's because they were willing to put in the work and share their gifts with the world. How many of us are still afraid to take action? How many of us are still doubting that we're not good enough, that we're not fast enough, that we're not pretty enough, that we are just not enough to take advantage of the opportunity that is at our door? How many of us? Because I've been there. I thought my English was horrible. And you might think it is. But I no longer think that my English is horrible. I used to be a very quiet person because I believed that I wasn't good enough to speak English. That if I would speak, you would laugh at me. I had that insecurity, the self-doubt was trapping me. But it's like once I let it go, I'm like, no, even if I mess up, I have gifts that I have to give. I have gifts I have to share. And this is for you. It's like, you don't have to be an outlier like Bill Gates. I don't have to be an outlier, a famous people out there. I don't have to, but I choose to take advantage of my opportunities. I choose to learn whenever there is opportunity at my door. I choose the opportunity to share what I'm learning with you so that I'm not growing together, that hopefully you are growing with me. And we can grab hand on hand and we can talk about it, So what are you waiting on? Because you have your cultural legacy that is you're bringing it with you. You are bringing your environment. Who are you surrounding yourself with? You can say, Paola, I had a really hard childhood. Okay, that was on the past. What about now? How can we change your environment? How can we better our life by hanging around people that are going to teach us, that are going to allow us to grow? What about the opportunities? We all have opportunities. And are we taking advantage of those opportunities? Sometimes we're not, because fear takes over us, like I said. Sometimes self-doubt. Sometimes we think, oh my gosh, I just don't have a degree, or I don't have the right skills. And that takes over us, and then we stopped. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because I don't want you to stop. I want you to continue to move, even if it's baby step after baby step, 2 millimeters at a time if you have to. But you're making the change. You're making the shift in your life to better it, to gain a new skill, to share your gifts. I hope this information, it is helping you, because outliers are not born, they take advantage of the opportunity. They work hard at it, they put in the 10,000 hours. That book taught me so much. It taught me so much because, it talks about different cultures and how we have to appreciate that we're here at this time on earth. We're here at this time on earth for a reason, and let's take advantage of those opportunities. Click a like, put a message on the comments and tell me if there is a book that you've been thinking about reading and you have not read it, but you want me to read it. Maybe it's on my to-do list as well, and you're going to kind of like push me to read it, and I will do it for you. If it's a book that I am looking to read, I will read it, and I'll do a book review like this one. Blessings to you all, and take care.